OutdoorMaster make quite a large range of products, but they are perhaps best known for their excellent value goggle selection, such as the examples that I have here. They make a range of goggles for a range of budgets, from the cheapest end of the spectrum through to more premium end, but everything in the range very much falls under the value for money ethos. OutdoorMaster's founding ethos is to bring good quality products to the masses at an affordable price, and that still very much applies today. This is far from being the full OutdoorMaster goggle range, but it's a good representative selection. So on my right here, I've got the Pulse, here Pro, these are the Ultra, and these are the Falcon. And if you like any of these products which you see here in front of me, or indeed anything else from OutdoorMaster, then if you use my discount code, which will appear on the screen somewhere down here, and also you can find it down in the description, then you'll receive 20% off. So considering OutdoorMaster products are already great value, with an extra 20% off, they are absolutely phenomenal value, so it's well worth doing. Now, full disclosure, today's video is a paid promotion, but OutdoorMaster have always been an excellent brand to work with. They've never put any kind of pressure on me to say certain things about the products. They've simply said, here are our gear, tell us what you think. So while yes, they are sponsoring today's video, I am under no obligation to say anything good about any of these products. Everything I will say is my full and honest opinion. Now, as you can see, there is quite a lot of variety available, even just with what's in front of me here, not including the models which I don't have here. So, which is best for you? Fundamentally, you have two decisions to make. First of all, budget. How much are you willing to spend on your goggles? And like I say, everything by OutdoorMaster is excellent value, but there's still a huge price range here from my right to my left. Then secondly, you have to decide on style. Which do you prefer between a cylindrical lens and something more toric or spherical lenses? Of course, fit also matters, and I'll give you an idea of how all these goggles fit me. I've got a large head, but I do have a relatively narrow face, I guess, so that'll give you some idea as to how these might fit you. But again, fundamentally, these are all adult goggles designed to fit reasonably large heads and faces. OutdoorMaster do also make children's goggles and women's specific goggles, which will have a much smaller fit. I'll mention some of those as well, but of course, I don't have any of those here in front of me today. It's worth mentioning that all OutdoorMaster's adult goggles have interchangeable lenses. Whether they're sold with or without a spare lens, you can change the lenses on all of these goggles that you see here. And with the exception of the Pulse, which I've got on my right here, everything else you see here uses their mag click system. So there is no clips or buckles or any kind of other fastenings. The lenses are simply held in place by 10 super strong magnets. But as I say, the Pulse has got a slightly different system, so I'll go into that in a second. So, starting with the Pulse, and these were one of the cheapest goggles that OutdoorMaster make. These retailed at around about $40. Sadly now, these have been discontinued, and I've been speaking to OutdoorMaster, and apparently it's because they're just too cheap. People didn't trust that these are actually an excellent quality goggle, which they are. So unfortunately, sometimes you can be too cheap as a brand, and people just don't trust your products, and that was the case with the Pulse. So depending on which territory you're in, you can still pick up some of these, but once they've sold all their existing stock, they are no longer manufacturing these, so that'll be it. So it's very much hit and miss depending on where you are in the world as to whether you can still find these or not. So I won't go into these in too much detail because for many of you, you will no longer be able to buy these. But briefly, these have all the standard quality features that you expect across all of the OutdoorMaster range. So silicone beading on the inside of the strap, providing grip, excellent, super comfortable 3-layer foam, tons of ventilation around both top and bottom of the goggles, and also contrast boosting lenses. Now these are OutdoorMaster's in-house own lenses. They don't have any kind of external proprietary technology, but they still do have excellent high HD contrast boosting lenses. So these lenses, as I say, they do not have the mag click system which all these other lenses have. Instead, they have a little switch on both sides which you need to slide across to then that releases the clips. You can already see they're quite a bit more difficult to do than the other lenses. So there, already you can see that's quite a lot of faff to do. And they're held in place by these little teeth which have got hooks on them. So seating the lens in the frame, again, when you want to put it back in, is also quite fiddly as well. So this is definitely a negative of these goggles. And you have got to be quite hands-on when doing it, pushing the lens with your thermal fingers, which does mean that you will get smudges on the lens as well, which again is not great. While technically you probably could do that on a chairlift, it's probably not something you're going to want to do while sat on a chairlift, as you would risk potentially dropping the lenses. But also, as these have been discontinued, you can no longer buy replacement lenses for these anyway, so it's all a moot point. So if you are going to buy a pair of these, you may as well just treat them as if they have fixed lenses. And then these have a cylindrical lens, which means the lens is perfectly flat in the vertical plane. It has no curvature at the top or bottom. Again, this is largely down to personal preference. Some people prefer this design, some people prefer a spherical or toric lens. In theory, cylindrical lenses have slightly more visual distortion, but I must say it's relatively minor. I can't say I've really noticed any particular difference in terms of the optics when I'm switching between spherical lenses and toric lenses or cylindrical lenses. What is more important is simply the quality of the lens. And then in terms of fit, these are definitely a medium to large size. Again, I've got quite a big head. These fit me very well. They do have the modern oversized design of the lenses. Got a pretty big frame. In terms of curvature, it's fairly neutral. They're neither the most curved or the straightest of the goggles in front of me here, and they have got a really wide field of view. Next in line, we have the Pro, and these start selling at around about $50 and range up to $70 depending on which combination of lenses you have with them. So this is still very much a budget option compared to the goggles further left. So these come in 5 different options. You can buy just the goggle on its own without any replacement lens, and that also comes in Asian fit style as well, and they are, again, the most cheap. They are $50. Or there's the Pro Plus, which again just comes with one lens. It's, as far as I can tell, exactly the same as the Pro, just with a slightly wider field of view, and they are $60. And then for $70 you have 2 options, which are the 2 that I've got in front of me here. You can have the Pro with a bonus replacement lens, or you can have the Pro photochromic. So this just comes with one lens, but it's a photochromic lens, so it's therefore a more expensive, more premium lens anyway. Of all the goggles that I have here, the Pro has the smallest fit in terms of the internal frame size. Stylistically, they still are an oversized goggle. They still do have nice big lenses, but internally they're just a little bit narrower. But again, even with my large head, they still fit me perfectly fine. They don't look or feel too small. But again, if you do have a slightly smaller head, perhaps for a teenager or a female, this might be the goggle for you. Of all OutdoorMaster's goggles, the Pro has probably the most choice in terms of colour and lens and frame design. Just with the standard Pro alone, you've got over 20 different combinations available of colour, of frame and lens. So if you're somebody who likes really vibrant colours, then chances are you'll probably find the most exciting goggle for you within the Pro family, such as these, pink. So again, with all the Pro goggle versions available, you'll have all the same standard features: the comfortable, broad, oversized strap with twin adjustments, silicone beading on the inside for grip, the triple layer foam, tons of ventilation, and they all come with OutdoorMaster's own proprietary lenses. Whereas to the left of me here, you do have Zeiss options available. Pro, you only have OutdoorMaster's own lenses. But again, these all have OutdoorMaster's own contrast boosting and HD technology. These are still great lenses, just without the premium name and the premium prices. And these have spherical lenses, which mean they're strongly curved in the vertical plane. If you imagine the piece of plastic the lens is formed out of has literally been cut out of a ball, out of a sphere. Whereas cylindrical lenses, it's been cut out of a cylinder or a tube. Fundamentally, that is the main difference between these 2 goggles, the shape of the lens. Now, in theory, in terms of optics, spherical lenses have the least visual distortion, but again, like I say, across all these goggles, I can't really notice the difference in terms of the shape of the lens as to which one has the better optics. So, fundamentally, it all comes down to which style do you prefer. Do you prefer a nice curved goggle, or do you prefer a flat goggle? Next in line, we have the Ultras. Now, these are moving towards the more premium end of the spectrum, with prices ranging between $100 and $140. But still, when you consider you could pay well over $400 for a pair of Smiths or Oakleys, these are still excellent value for money. And with the Ultra, you have 3 different options available. You have the standard Ultra, which comes with a spare lens, and they are both OutdoorMaster lenses. You have the Ultra Photochromic, which I have here, which also comes with a spare lens. Again, these are both OutdoorMaster's own lenses. So the standard Ultra is 100, Ultra Photochromic is 120. And then finally, you have the Ultra Zeiss, which is the most expensive of the 3 at $140. So this comes with Zeiss sonar lenses, which is Zeiss's contrast boosting technology, similar principle to ChromaPop, etc. So it's very much up there with other premium lenses. Again, you can always argue which premium lens is best, but this is very much a premium lens. Now, the Ultra Zeiss does only come with one Zeiss lens. The secondary low light lens is a OutdoorMaster's own proprietary lens, not a Zeiss lens. Some say that as a slight criticism. Personally, I don't mind. yeah, that's definitely worth bearing in mind that you currently cannot get replacement Zeiss lenses. So the Ultras have a toric lens, which is partway between a spherical and a cylindrical lens, although it's definitely more spherical than cylindrical. So it does have a good amount of curvature in the vertical plane. And these are very much a large size goggle. They'll fit people with broad faces and big heads, like me. And they've got a fairly average curvature to them on the inside of the frame. Again, very similar in shape to the Pros. And like all the OutdoorMaster goggles, they're incredibly comfortable and they've got great ventilation, and haven't mentioned it yet, but they also got good anti-fog as well. So you don't need to worry about them steaming up too much. Whereas the Pro photochromic goggle doesn't come with a replacement lens, you just get the one photochromic lens with the Pro. With the Ultras, you do also get a spare low light lens as well, although I guess realistically you shouldn't need it. The whole point of photochromic lenses is they work from low light to bright light situations, so it should be one lens for every situation. But that said, I guess it is useful to have a spare lens just in case you lose or break these. In terms of colour and design choice, you've got much greater choice with the standard Ultra than you do with the Ultra Zeiss or the photochromic. Indeed, the photochromic currently only comes in two lens and strap options. Ultra Zeiss has got, I think, 7 or 8 different colour options, but then the standard Ultra has got nearly 20. It's got nearly as many as the Pro, but not quite. So again, if you're looking for something with very bright, vibrant colours, you can probably find it within the standard Ultra range as well. And last in line, we have OutdoorMaster's most premium goggle, the Falcon. Now these come in about 7 different options, ranging from $110 all the way up to $170. Plus, there's also a kid-specific option, which is currently $56, which has all the same features as the adult Falcon, just in a much smaller size, and without Zeiss lenses. That only comes with OutdoorMaster lenses. But all the other options, all the adult options, come with Zeiss lens options. There used to be a standard Falcon available, but that has since been discontinued. The cheapest version is the Falcon Zeiss, which is currently $110. Now, these used to be $120 last season, but they brought the price point down slightly to make more space within the range for the other goggles. So yeah, it's quite a rare thing for a product to go down in price from year to year, but this one has. And next you have the Falcon Custom, which now sits in at the $120 price point. And that is exactly the same as the standard Falcon, but you can customize it. So it means you have virtually unlimited choice between the colors of the lenses, the replacement lenses, the frames and the straps. But beyond that, of course, it is identical to this version which I have here. Then at $120, there's also an Asian fit option, which again is identical to this, just with a slightly less curvature to the frame. Next, there's the Falcon Snowboard Pro Camp Special Edition goggle, which again is identical to the standard Falcon Zeiss goggle, just with a specific lens and strap combination with branding from Snowboard Pro Camp. And those sit at $150. Then you have the Falcon E Quick U Smart Lens design, which actually isn't a Zeiss lens, it's a standard OutdoorMaster lens. It's similar to a photochromic lens, but it's a smart lens, so it has a chip in the lens, which that adjusts the tint of the goggle. Rather than relying on the technology of the lens itself to adjust the tint, it has basically tech fitted into the lens, a little chip. I haven't got that here, so I can't show you, but that sits at $170. And then finally, the most expensive goggle in the OutdoorMaster range in its entirety is this, the Falcon Dual Zeiss. So again, this is identical to the standard Falcon Zeiss, but whereas the Falcon Zeiss comes with one Zeiss lens, the primary bright light lens, and then a non-Zeiss low light lens, these now come with 2 Zeiss lenses, so that's been a new addition for this season. It's something which many testers and reviewers were calling out for, a goggle which comes with 2 premium Zeiss lenses, and now they are available. And this sits at $180, which, like I say, is the most expensive goggle anywhere in the OutdoorMaster range, but it's still less than half the price as the top of the range Smiths, Oakleys, etc. So it's still absolutely fantastic value. The Falcons have a cylindrical lens, just like the Pulse, so you've got no curvature in the vertical plane. But they've got much more of a retro design compared to the Pulse. They still have the kind of modern oversized shape and size, but they've got the much narrower strap, which is something you'd expect in older, more old school goggles, and they also pinch out more here, and they're much more blocky in design compared to the Pulses. So again, it's very much a retro design, but with more modern technology. These are also the least curved of all the goggles you see here, even without being the Asian fit design. The standard model still has very much a flatter curve to it, so if you have got a wider face perhaps, or just less pronounced features, then Falcons may well be the goggle for you. Again, they have the Zeiss sonar technology, so really excellent quality optics in these lenses. They've also got the anti-fog, excellent ventilation, triple air foam, etc, etc. Another thing to point out is that all the non-Zeiss options here come with this, the hard case, and this has room for your replacement lens in it as well. But the Zeiss options don't come with this, but you can purchase this separately for $20. So of course, the Zeiss lenses being a more premium product and also being an external product which OutdoorMaster can't control the price of, as a means of controlling the price of the Zeiss options, they've removed this from the standard bundle, which is fair enough, I think. A final thing to consider is how these goggles fit with your helmet. And if you're buying an OutdoorMaster helmet, in theory, all their goggles and helmets have a seamless design, but in practice, that's just not the case. Personally, I have both the Elk and the Diamond MIPS 2 helmets, and with them, the only goggle which fits what I would say anywhere close to being seamlessly is the Ultras. In terms of comfort, all OutdoorMaster goggles fit comfortably with all OutdoorMaster helmets, but in terms of cosmetics, the shape and size of the goggles doesn't match up very well with the helmets, with the exception of the Ultras. Now this is a pretty good but not a perfect fit with the Diamond MIPS 2 helmet, but I would say it's about as perfect as you can get with the Elk helmet. So if you're looking for a combination of a goggle and a helmet to buy, and you're wondering which ones to buy, for me, the ones which work best stylistically, cosmetically, are the Ultras and the Elk helmet. And it just so happens that the Elk helmet is also one of OutdoorMaster's best helmets as well. It is a MIPS helmet, it's a really stylish helmet, so I'd highly recommend going for that option anyway if you are looking for a helmet. So there you have it. There's a broad selection of OutdoorMaster's goggle range. If you're looking for a really good value for money goggle, something very much at the cheaper end of the spectrum, then you really can't go wrong with one of the Pro options, either the standard version or the photochromic. These are quite possibly the best value goggle on the market anywhere in the world, to be honest. These are also the goggle for you if you've got a slightly smaller head, slightly narrower face, particularly for women. These will fit you well, although OutdoorMaster do also make more feminine goggle designs as well, which obviously I haven't got here because they've not sent me them to test. There'd be no point in a man testing a woman's goggle. And for adolescents, teenagers, growing youngsters as well, the Pro is probably the best option. If you're somebody who likes premium options, premium branding, is happy to pay a little bit extra for the fancy names, then of course, either of these two options with the Zeiss lenses is the one you'll be looking for. Zeiss lenses are very much a premium lens. The An and M4 used to be fitted with Zeiss sonar lenses until 2 or 3 seasons ago. So they are something which very much is used by the best brands in the market, and it's also found here in OutdoorMaster as well. So if you're looking for that kind of quality and that kind of credibility, very much go for either the Ultra or the Falcon Zeiss. And then it all comes down to either cosmetically, which one do you prefer, the toric lens or the cylindrical lens, and also to a degree, your face shape. If you've got more of a flat face and a wide face, then the Falcons will fit you better. Otherwise, you won't go wrong with the Ultras. So if you've got this far, thanks for watching. And if you are interested in buying any of these, then don't forget to make use of my discount code, which again, you'll find here on the screen and down in the description. And to everybody, enjoy the slopes.